On episode 303, we met Dr. Mike Catangui from MWI Animal Health, who grew up in the Philippines, cut his teeth counting flies on the legs of cattle in feed yards, and has dedicated his career to finding solutions to mitigate the pests that suck the profits, performance, and potential out of dairy animals. Well, today we ask this expert about the natural insecticide discovered thousands of years ago from a flower that more and more dairies are bringing into their fly control strategies today. All this and more as we ask the expert today here on the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. Welcome to the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. This is the podcast for dairy producers and professionals who are committed to moving our industry forward. I'm Peggy Coffeen, and each week we bring you the leaders, the lessons, and real-world stories from the people who have built the dairy business we know today and those who are shaping its future. Join us on the journey by following Uplevel Dairy on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and subscribe at upleveldairy.com to get new episodes and our Dairy Insights blogs right in your inbox. MWI Animal Health is your partner in animal health, where our people drive us to think forward every day. MWI Animal Health is committed to working with you to identify cutting-edge solutions to your common challenges. We unite with innovators and manufacturers to provide access to products and solutions designed to help you find success in each aspect of your animal health business.
Dr. Mike, you are an entomologist, a parasitologist by training. This is what you do every day, really what you've devoted your professional career to. And so just speak to a moment when we talk about natural insecticides for dairies. What does that really mean?
Well, it's pretty easy. As the name implies, these are insecticides that are already has that mode of action in nature. So it's found in nature. And there are already, insecticides that are found in nature, insecticidal properties that are, once again, that already occur in nature as opposed to something that was made synthetically in the lab by a chemist, for example. So natural insecticides could come from plants. And a good example is the pyrethrum plant, the chrysanthemum plant, can be extracted for a product called natural pyrethrins. But natural insecticides can also come from bacteria in the soil, like spinosad, for example. And then also diatomaceous earths. You might be familiar with that one in your gardening, for your potatoes in the garden. And diatomaceous earths come from rocks, from diatomite rocks. So really, natural insecticides is kind of an umbrella term that for molecules that are already insecticidal in nature. You don't need to, maybe you can modify it a little bit, but they already exist as such in nature.
So tie this together then. Why is there an increasing interest for dairies when it comes to these natural or biological solutions that can come from plants, from the soil, from rocks, as you've described?
Yes, especially in dairy, because the product is milk. It's something that you drink, and there's always a concern. And there's some history of insecticidal products that end up in the milk. We don't want that, and so we want the safest possible products that don't have any danger of being accumulated in the milk. And so that's the first reason. Of course, we now are more conscious of the environment. This environmental movement has been going on for 60 years now, and pretty much maybe has reached its peak already. And then the customers are now pretty savvy. They don't just want a product. They want to know the background. What did you use to control the bugs? And are these products sustainable? And so sustainability is now a big concern with the consumers, who pretty much is your customer for your milk. And then also for us as entomologists, then there's one important additional advantage of natural products. There seems to be less or no resistance to natural products. And the important thing is that these natural products are actually the first insecticides known to mankind. And that's very, it's been ongoing for thousands of years now, somewhere in the world. But now we're just going back to it. So because of the present time, a concern on sustainability and what's environmental concerns, and for us, again, resistance issues.
So walk me through in practical application, when we're talking about these natural solutions, like what does that look like on the dairy?
Yes, it's actually a product. So from natural pyrethrins, the pyrethrum plants, the chrysanthemum plants planted in Tasmania in Australia, goes to Minneapolis to be refined. Product is made there. And so it's actually a product you can buy from MWI Animal Health, for example. And we make this available to dairy producers because we know there's a lot of concern now, those three concerns. It could be, again, contamination of the milk, could be resistance issues on insects, could be sustainability. And so once again, our customers, those that consume milk and cheese, they're now pretty savvy. They want, of course, a good product, milk product, but they know. We want to know how the animals were treated in the farm, the products you use, and so that's the reason why there's now increasing demand for natural products.
So when we look at these natural solutions, and on the dairy, there's multiple places where we see flies. Of course, there's calf barn, right? There's around our baby calves. There are flies that hang around those heifers that might be might be in a lot or indoors, outdoors, wherever they might be. And then of course there's our lactating dairy cows as well. And so just kind of walk me through from your research, what are the specific benefits to be gained in those different life stages from calf to heifer to cow?
With natural products, you can actually spray the animals directly. Of course, you don't want to be spraying when you're milking in the milking parlor, but you're allowed to spray, and you'll see the label for natural products. They're safe enough that you can actually spray the animals on the legs where the stale flies are biting, and the calf on the hutches with the right equipment. And so that's the nice thing with natural products. For us, it's accessible, if you will, or it can be used where traditionally you can't use it, with the synthetic products. You're not allowed to spray the animals directly, but here you can spray more the animals, the surrounding environment, the sensitive areas, if you will, with natural products.
So explain to me the why, the what's in it for the long-term benefit of the animal, but ultimately for the producer and profitability at the end of the day as well. Calves, what can we gain here?
Well, with calves, of course, they're newborn. They're and then even though they're just a few days old, the stale flies will bite them, and so you give them a good start with many other considerations. But now, in addition, you can actually control the flies. You can see how irritated they are when they're being bit by stale flies. And natural products are perfect solution for newborn calves. You can actually spray them directly, the hutches. And so that would be beneficial for them to have a head start in gain, in the weight of gain, as they become the replacement heifers later on. So yeah, when they return and after milking, then you can spray them there, to eliminate those. In fact, that's where all the milk losses happen. Also, when they're just on the pens, then they tend to stump and they tend to bunch. And that's where you can spray them directly with the natural products. So, and there's lesser concern. We're more at ease in using natural products as opposed to hard chemistry products when spraying dairy animals. So, if there is an operation that needs this product, would be dairy, because again, the end product is we actually drink the milk, and there's always a concern that there might be contaminated with synthetic insecticides. It's happened before, by the way, but now there's less concern if you use the natural products. And of course, for us, because there's no resistance, that's really a big thing for us. And our job is to make it easier for them to apply it by using the right equipment. Sometimes we think it's an expensive, but no, it's not an expensive one. It's a lot easier now. We have these battery-powered foggers.
What's to be gained on the dairy cow side, the lactating cow side, and milk production, or any numbers that you might have?
Yes, 10 to 20% loss per day in milk during the fly season. But when the flies are around, it's proven in really detailed studies that stale flies will reduce milk production from 10 to 20%. So that's a lot of milk that it's not realized. It just goes to the expense in terms of energy of the cows, trying to ward off the fly. So 10-20% is very significant in terms of loss of milk production. And then the nice thing again is that we can all prove it using economics. Controlling flies would be viewed as an investment. And then the investment is so tiny compared to the benefit of milk production. Last calculation, it all depends on the price of milk. The last time I calculated during the Dairy Expo, for every $1 you spend for bug control, then you gain $27 in benefit in milk production during the fly season. So,
wow, those are real numbers.
Real numbers. And of course, the milk price fluctuates. Also the pricing for the insecticide, but compared to the cost, the cost of the investment is so small compared to the benefit, the potential benefit, that really it's easy to kind of convince but again, dairy farms know this already, so they always budget for insect control.
Sure. But in a year like 2026, where the dairy producer is in a world of tight margins and perhaps looking for opportunity to ship more milk out the door, to do more with less, right? This is one lever that can be pulled to potentially gain those extra pounds of milk and drive profitability as well. Yes.
The price of the cost of the investment with spraying is always much lower than the price of milk. And so, this is something that you can show, because it's known that bugs reduce milk. And then all you need to do is, adjust what is the price of milk, and then what's the cost. Usually the cost of a spray is only 4 cents per head per day. And then the price of milk could be 20, maybe 18 to 20 or 24 cents per pound. And so it's easy to do this, return on investment calculation, because you know what you're getting for the milk, and then you know what you're paying for the spray, which is really low, and then the return is so big that the return is very significant. So we have all this available for dairy producers, and then again, if there is a livestock operation that would need these natural products, it would be the dairy production side, because once again, we're producing something that's very sensitive for contamination. So, but again, we have several reasons for using natural products. That would be to the welfare of the animals. When they're not being pestered by bugs, then they tend to produce more milk.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mike. You are the Ask the Expert guest today as we dig into this area of biological ways to control pests on dairies. And we'll have links in our show notes for you, and also the context at MWI, so that dairy producers can find their own resources and solutions for the problems they might be facing. So thank you, Dr. Mike.
Oh, thanks to you too, Peggy. Thank you.
The opinions expressed are solely those of Dr. Michael Catangui and do not reflect the views or opinions of his employer. Thank you for listening to the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow the show, share this episode with your friends in the dairy community, and leave a review. At Uplevel Dairy, we are here to highlight the leaders, the lessons, and the real-world experiences that are shaping the future of our dairy industry. Find more by following us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for behind-the-scenes content and upcoming guests. And subscribe at upleveldairy.com to get new episodes and our Dairy Insights blogs right in your inbox. I'm Peggy Coffeen, and until next time, keep on learning, keep on leading, and keep up-leveling your dairy.